I'm going to show you one of the very few ways there are that you could realistically double your business within 90 days. And I'm not going to try to convince you or prove to you that this is true. Your own judgment and trying this out for yourself, following the 9 steps that I lay out in this video, will be better than all of the proof in the world or all of the examples or all of the persuasion that I could ever give you. So in this case, we are talking about a one-time offer or intro service. My name is Matthew Larson. If you never watched one of my videos before, I am the founder of 1000x Leads, and this is part of the 1000x Leads funnel. It's one of the 7 different offers. So the strategy or the reason that you might do this is it becomes, or it is, even if people like you, know you, trust you, even if you have your case studies and all that kind of stuff, if you're selling high-priced recurring services with a 3-month, 6-month, a year minimum commitment, it's still going to be tough. And that's just the reality of it. People make it seem very easy, on the internet when they're just posting all their screenshots and stuff. But anybody who's tried to get a client before knows that it is difficult. And it gets easier over time as you build that social proof, but it's never going to be a complete layup. People are never going to go to your site and see a Stripe link and check out for, CRO services for $15K a month. It's just not realistic. So the strategy is to give people another option. It's something where they can try you out and get their foot in the door for cheaper. And then if it goes well, buy your, higher price service. It's kind of like wouldn't call it a paid trial, but it's a less commitment type offer. It still costs thousands of dollars, but it's very, very, very strong strategy. So let's get into it because have a little 9-step plan for you here that you could take away from this video and actually try this for yourself. So the 9 steps to creating an intro offer are, it should either make them more money or save them time. And if it doesn't do one of those things, and it's not just it doesn't do one of those things, but it's not immediately clear to someone how it doesn't do one of those 2 things, it's probably not good enough. The second step, it has to either be measurable with actual data and analytics or have some sort of tangible deliverable. Step 3, it needs to eliminate the 5 major types of risk. Number 4, it has to have a potential reward of 100 times, and you must communicate this potential properly. Very good addition to the list there. Has to have a strong guarantee. You have to create a funnel for it. You need to flood some traffic with ads, with content, and cold email. And then a percentage of the people that buy this will eventually upsell to your main recurring high price service that you were trying to sell them all along. I'm not sure how many. It's going to depend on your business, but a percentage will. To give you an idea, I used to do this with landing pages for e-commerce stores to run their paid ads. And then I also used to do site-wide A/B testing called conversion rate optimization. And in that case, about 8% of people upsold. Whether that's good or not, I don't know. It will be dependent for you, but that was just my experience. And that's kind of not a great experience to base it off of, because a lot of people who could afford or use a landing page simply can't afford or make use of CRO services. So it's pretty much impossible for them to buy it just because their store is not big enough to where it would justify the price. But that was my experience, about 8%. So let's get into it. Let's get into step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8, and step 9. I'm going to put maybe 3 to 5 bullet points for each. We're going to do this in real time together because I personally think that's more valuable to see the thought process behind something as opposed to just a highly edited end result. So it neither needs to make them more money or save them time. Should I do one for what I used to do, or should I do something separate? That's what I'm going through my head. So we need to have an example. We need to, choose something. So let's choose an email marketing agency for e-commerce stores. You do flows, you do newsletters, you do that kind of stuff for Shopify stores. The purpose is to make more money from their email list, re-engage past customers, and more. Most of the time you would be using Klaviyo for this. So I'm just going to put 3 bullet points there because without some sort of example. Like this isn't really going to be that useful. So let's get into it. Email marketing makes them more money. And that's just simple. If you email your list, you're going to make more money than if you don't. If you email your list more effectively, like the designs are better, the copy is better, you'd make more money than if you did it less effectively. So email marketing makes them more money. Email marketing also saves them time, i.e. they don't have to do it themselves. So we could argue that this does both, right? So for example, my program, 1000x Leads, makes them more money, but it doesn't necessarily save them time because they have to do X, Y, and Z. So that's an example of how, it might seem like both of these things might be true, but it's not necessarily that they're going to be true. For example, a tax accountant saves you time of doing it yourself, but that doesn't necessarily make you more money or you know what I mean. So let's get to it. E-commerce email marketing is measurable. You can see the results with actual numbers data inside the Klaviyo and Shopify accounts. So that checks the box. We also may have tangible deliverables as well. So for example, we may do 8 campaigns per month. We might do a deliverability. What would you call it? A deliverability check plus fix once per month. We may do a welcome flow A/B test once per month. So we could build this into our offer. This would be more of the main offer type stuff, but it could be both measurable and deliverable. So we're going to delete the 8 campaigns per month and the deliverability check once per month because that is more of a recurring service. So you have one-time service here, recurring service. That would be an example of what the average e-commerce email marketing agency might provide, but that's not necessarily what we're talking about here. We're going to double our business in the next 90 days by getting more clients in with our intro offer and then doing a great job and then upselling them. But it's very important to keep in our brain, the little hand gestures here, that a one-time service and a recurring service are not the same thing. And I know that is obvious, but the way people think about it, they think it's the same thing. So what might we do here? We want to do something that will make them more money or save them time. So in this case, let's focus on making them more money. Let's think about it here. What do e-commerce stores need? The main problem that e-commerce stores face is rising CPAs on their paid ads. A lot of them are not profitable anymore and at risk of either not growing or shutting down completely. And this is true e-commerce stores of every size. So the thing that if I know that is the biggest problem, what might I do? I might say, how can I as an e-commerce email marketing agency help solve this problem? There's other problems. They need to retain customers and that kind of stuff, and that's true, but not really possible for us to help them retain customers as a one-time service. That's mostly what I had before I deleted it with the newsletters 1 or 8 times per month, the deliverability stuff, all of that kind of stuff. So how can I, as an e-commerce email marketing agency, help solve the problem of rising CPAs? So the welcome flow will have the biggest impact on this. So what could I do for the welcome flow? Maybe I will, like the offer, the intro offer, and let's bold this here. I will run 2 A/B tests on your welcome flow per month to try and make it more effective and increase the conversion rate. This will help you lower your paid ad CPA. A lower paid ad CPA will either mean you can spend less on ads to get the same result, or it will mean you can scale your ad budget higher. And we kind of One thing that I think is something that needs to be done is when you say something, this will help you lower your paid ads CPA. Take it a step further. What does that even mean? Because you might think it's obvious, but the words, which means you will get a lower, or you'll be able to either spend less and to get the same result, or you'll be able to scale your ad budget higher. Like, that's a very important bridge between the two. So what we're really doing is helping them scale their ad budget by doing this. Or what we are really doing is helping them make more money because they can spend less to get the same number of conversions. Like, that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to zoom in on this as an intro offer here. So let's go to the 5 types of risk. They are the financial risk from your fee, the financial risk from you screwing it all up, the time and effort risk from you fixing what you screwed up, the reputation risk from consequences of you screwing it up, and the ego risk that comes from trying something and failing. These are the 5 types of risk. What most people are going to do is going to just have a or you don't pay guarantee that's going to talk about the first type of risk, and that's makes you look really goofy to more established businesses because it just implies that you are a beginner who doesn't know about these other types of risk. So we are going to have a guarantee, but we're not going to have a guarantee on our main recurring service. Like, our email marketing is going to help you make more money or you don't pay. Like, that is just so egregiously bad that I hope everybody who's doing that 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or even after watching this video, realizes that and just stops. It is not possible to create a great offer for a recurring service because it is not possible to minimize these types of risk. If we were going to completely take over their email flows and their sales, like, the Memorial Day sale and the Veterans Day sale and their Black Friday sale, and we were going to send 8 newsletters per month and we're going to take charge of their deliverability, there's simply no way to minimize the fact that if we suck, we're going to lose them a lot of money. There's no minimizing the fact that if we suck, they're going to have to spend a lot of time and effort fixing it. There's no way around the fact that if we suck, they are going to look stupid in front of their boss or their investors or their peers or their employees if they are the boss. There's no way around that if we screw it up, like, their ego is going to be hurt. They might blame us, but on the inside, they're going to think, is this really my fault, or is this really something to do with my product or service? That kind of stuff. However, we can do this with an intro offer, and that's the main benefit of doing so. So let's go through the fact that how this could, how we could eliminate all 5 types of risk with this intro offer of 2 Welcome Flow A/B tests per month. So the financial risk, this is where you would have a guarantee. This is the part where, people understand this part easy enough, but they don't understand the other parts, and that's why their offer doesn't really do anything. If our Welcome Flow doesn't improve your conversion rate by at least 10% in our 30-day A/B tests, we will give you a full refund for our services. We will put this in a legally binding contract with no fine print or funny business. Now, that is a much better guarantee than if you don't pay. The financial risk, if the Welcome Flow, or what we could do, we will split the traffic in the A/B test 90-10. 90% to the original and 10% to our test until our test is proven to convert at similar or better pace to the original. This will minimize the downside in case our version is not as good. Because think about it, if they're a big store and let's say they make $1 million a month or something, and 100K is of that from their Welcome Flow. If you make their Welcome Flow like 20% worse and 50% of the traffic's going to it, so I'll delete this after 100K, 20% worse, 50% traffic, is going to that, 20% of 50% is 10%, 10% of 100K is $10,000. Like it, whether you refund their stuff or not, you're losing them $10,000 basically. And that's what I mean here. We're capping the downside versus if 20% worse of 10% is $2,000. That might be more acceptable to them, right? So that is something that we could do for the financial risk. For the time and effort risk, if it doesn't perform better, we will just turn it off. There is no time and effort required. It takes a few clicks and can be done in under 60 seconds versus, you completely screwing up their entire brand's email marketing. Then that takes weeks or months to fix. 60 seconds or less. This is just an experiment to try and get a better result. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul. You will get a refund, minimizes their reputation risk. We will turn it off, no serious consequences, and we will all move on with our lives. See? Versus, if some director of e-commerce hires you and you screw it up, they're at a real risk of getting fired if they're at a bigger company. If they're the boss, they're going to look stupid in front of their employees or to their investors or at the very least to their peers. Versus this, it's just a little experiment, no problem. And then the ego risk, the reputation and the ego risk in this case are kind of the same. This is just a little experiment. We're just trying something. And if it doesn't work, refund, turn it off. We all move on with our lives, right? No problem. So we've eliminated the 5 types of risk here where it's just not possible to do so with a recurring service. And that's why this is so important to have an intro offer. And this is why it's so much easier to sell an intro offer than it is to sell a recurring service. So the next one is when you are selling to cold traffic, there needs to be a potential reward of $100 or more for every dollar they spend. Cold traffic doesn't know, like, or trust you. They are the most conservative buyers on the planet. However, we will need to be able to convert cold traffic from content, ads, outreach, etc. if we want to scale our business. We cannot rely on referrals or our network forever. So, essentially what we're saying here is we need to explain clearly how this could be a 100 plus ROI, 100x plus ROI. So in this case, let's say, and we would tailor this to the brand, but let's just say the brand is spending $100,000 per month on ads. We're just going to choose a number. 100,000 is just good enough, right? So example, and you would tailor this. So every sales call maybe you'd create a spreadsheet of this and you could plug it in live on the sales call. If you are selling or spending $100,000 per month on ads, again, example, because we have to use some number, and our welcome flow helps you reduce your CPA by 20%. That is like saving $20,000 per month on ad spend. But, that's not all. These people will buy again and again and again. Meaning one test that is 20% better may be worth 400,000 plus to you over the next several years. This means that, if we charge you $4,000 for this test and it works, you may be getting a 100x plus ROI. If it doesn't work, you will get a full refund. There is absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. Both of these options are risk-free. There's absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. The only thing guaranteed not to help reduce your CPA is to do nothing at all. And when we spell it out all like this, like there really is nothing to lose and everything to gain. Because we've addressed the risk, because we have 100 times potential reward, because it's clear how it makes some more money, it's measurable, like there actually is nothing to lose and everything to gain. So basically the way you do your financial risk here in terms of your fee is going to be your guarantee. Like that's just kind of how it works. So our guarantee in this example, if our welcome flow doesn't improve your conversion rate by at least 10% in our 30-day A/B test, we'll give you a full refund, no problem. So let's go to the next part because we kind of already talked about that. So what we're going to need here, we're going to need a few different things. We're going to need, let's do a case study funnel here because we'll choose one. Case study asset, video, like we need to have a video of the case study. We will need an opt-in page with a form collecting their name, email, phone number. We will need a thank you page to host the case study video, show a ton of social proof, and have book a call link. We are going to need a 60-minute email flow containing 4 emails, the case study delivery, the what we do, the why you need to do it, the how we do it emails. So those would all go out because we really need to get them to understand. And the 30-day email flow containing 30 emails, 1 cent per day, each addressing a objection or FAQ and all linking back to the case study. So this is in essence our funnel. It's not, super crazy or anything, but it's just one of those things. So like, for example, mine is A here. If I put in my information here, I'm going to see not a case study, but a sales letter, right? This is a sales letter. This is a value stack for 1,000x leads. These are the proof, so to speak, our clients, our case studies, client wins, all of that kind of stuff. Like you just build a page similar to this. It seems a little formatting issues here. And then book your call, right? So that is what we would need. The next we want to do is content. So link to this in our YouTube description plus pinned comment. We're going to put link to this in the first line of our YouTube. Link to this in our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn bio. Facebook ad funnel running to this link. YouTube ad funnel running to this link. Cold emails running to this link centered around the case study. We could also do, cold DMs running to this link centered around the case study. Something like that. So we might have all of this good traffic. Let's put TikTok in there as well, if we do TikTok. And then what we're going to do is the objective here is to get our foot in the door. We will do a great job and then upsell them to our main recurring service. Because we have done a great job with our intro offer, this becomes super, super, super easy. The whole purpose and why this will double your business is you will get 5 to 10x more sales for a good intro offer than you will for your main recurring service, i.e. what you are doing now. if you can upsell, 10%, 20%, 30% of them into your main recurring service, you get the revenue from the intro offer. It's not like you're doing it for free. Then you get the revenue from the main recurring service, and they are much less likely to churn because you did a great job on the front end. You will get much more leeway, and the LTV will be 50 to 100% higher. Trust me on that. So you're really going to get some revenue going here. You need someone to make new ads every day. You need someone to make YouTubes every day. You need someone to make short form videos every day. You need someone to post on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook every day. You need someone to send newsletters 3 to 5 times per week. You need someone to post in your group. So, this usually means you will need 1 to 2 full-time roles roles people for this, but the ROI on this will be 5 to 10x. These people are not expenses. They are direct revenue producing roles. Try not to use agencies for this in general. It is better to learn it yourself and have people in-house if you really want to scale, but it's just one of those things. So this is the 9-step plan. So if you have this great intro offer following these 9 steps, it is very, very likely that you're going to double your business in the next 90 days. And then you're going to double your business in the next 90 days after that, once all of the recurring revenue that comes in from your upsell starts to kick in. It's very, very, very important to have an intro offer. You simply cannot make a good enough offer with your recurring service to the point where you're actually going to get a 5 times or 10 times better result. If you're honest with yourself, your competitors and everyone else offering pretty much the same thing as you can do just as good a job or better, but the intro offer is something where you can have a 10 times or a 20 times or a 30 times better offer than someone else, and this is where all of the real money is made. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.